again, football fans. Welcome to Friday Night Varsity Preview. I'm Aaron Schoonmaker alongside sports editor Dan Spears. We are in round 4 of the playoffs, our second season. This is the semifinals. Winner gets to play for the big show. Dan, tell me a little something coming into this week.
Well, we have 3 teams left here in coastal North Carolina, and we almost had a 4th with East Duplin playing against Tarboro. Great time of year for a lot of these teams. An East Bladen surprise. I think Pender was hoping to get to this point, and Wallace was expected to get to this point. So we've got 3 teams left that probably have a little different emotions coming into this week, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. Teams that, like you said, expected to be here, surprised to be here. South Brunswick, who knows what they could have done had they been around still.
Let's not go there. That's a tough one to swallow, and it's a week later still. So.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk about the teams that are here. Let's get into some of the picks, like always.
Sure. I guess we'll start. We'll start in 2A. The team that we said that was kind of the surprise at this point. That's East Bladen, 11-3. They travel up to Tarboro, 14-0, and they knocked off East Duplin last week.
And that was a game that I was at, that Tarboro game, that East Duplin game. And that Tarboro team plays some fantastic defense. Through 3 games in the playoffs, they've pitched a shutout, and they've given up 14 and 10 points. On the flip side, East Bladen has been putting up serious points in the 56 range last week. So this is going to be a battle of offense versus defense. In the playoffs, I like home teams and defense, but we'll see. East Bladen's got a very good chance.
I was going to say, East Bladen, the numbers for Tarboro are just staggering. They now have 21 wins in a row coming off last year's state championship. They won their last 7 last year, and then 14 this year. On the road, they're a very average team. They're 5 road games. They won by a total of 18 points. That's 3 points a game. In their 8 games at home, they've won by 30.7. I mean, it's just obscene. They really, really like the home cooking up there, obviously. East Bladen knows how to put the points up. It's going to be a lot closer than everybody thinks.
I put the point line at 28. If the scoring gets over 28, I like Bladen. If it stays under 28, I like Tarboro.
I think you're right about that. I'll agree.
All right.
So, second game, let's go down to little 1A. First, that's Plymouth, which is out of the Four Rivers Conference up north, and they're at Wallace. The winning streak stands, and does it have any chance of stopping this week?
I don't think it does. I think Wallace at home, coming off the wins that they've already amassed in the playoffs, Wallace has been just putting up 70 points, 50 points. I mean, they're in the 6-7 touchdowns per game range. That included last week. They've put up almost 700 points on the year. They've averaged 54 points per game in the playoffs. There's nobody that can stop that, and I don't think they will this week.
I was going to say, Plymouth is hoping it's one of its better players, a running back, is hoping to be back this week. He didn't play last week against Manio. They gave up some points to a Manio team that's not known for scoring last week, which makes me nervous if I'm a Plymouth fan, because Wallace can score on they'll score on everybody. So, this could get out of hand, but it is a state semifinal. You just never know what's going to happen.
The one grain of salt I will give Plymouth for that game last week, it was their second time around meeting Manio, 36-32. They knew what each other was about. They got the better of them the second time around.
Good point. That's a very good point there. Okay, so now we'll skip up to the 1AA, and that's Pender. And they were the 3rd seed in their region, 11-2, and they play at Southwest Onslow. And this is the matchup everybody was hoping for, and now we're here.
Yeah, and I had talked to Chuck a little earlier in the year, and he said, let's hope we get Pender Southwest Onslow. It seems that Pender's been snake bit by them year after year after year. Yep. This might be that year that they get over the top of it. Southwest Onslow is averaging a 52-7 win in the playoffs. They have not allowed more than 14 points in their last 9 games. In their last 11, the only time that's happened was to Wallace Rose Hill. Each team has lost to Wallace in Southwest Onslow. This is going to be a good game.
I think so too. I think if Pender's only 1-8 all time against Southwest, and they've never won at Jacksonville. So this is, can they get over this hump? They've been here a couple times. Tom Eanes said this is the game that they try and get to, and then they try. There's one more step. They haven't taken it. Is this the time for them? It's, if not now, when? Right. I think is what they need to be saying to themselves.
Yeah, their offensive scheme hasn't changed. A couple of players have changed in and out over the years. So can Shaq Hooper, can Josh Johnson, can they get it done?
Like I said, they can. The question is, will they?
Absolutely.
So, now we're going to jump into 2 other games that we picked, that you picked them this week. Again, All 8 games, you can find those. Make your picks at starnewsvarsity.com on the blog. Get everything in by 7:30 Friday night, and Friday morning you'll get to see all 8 of our picks as well. So we'll take 2 other games off of there. The 3 games we won't be doing on here is in the 3AA West. That's Shelby Crest at Charlotte Catholic. 4AA East, that's Panther Creek at Wake Forest Rollsville, and in Class 1A West, Hobton at Murphy. Let's jump into the Mid-Eastern Conference champ first.
Yes.
New Bern, undefeated at undefeated Durham Hillside.
2 undefeateds. I mean, you can't ask for a better matchup on paper. When you look at New Bern's defense, they've only given up 164 points a game. You look at Durham's defense, the Hillside, 141 points a game. So these are 2 defenses that excel. Neither offense is going to, blow you away, but I do like New Bern's to do a little bit more.
Yeah, I think New Bern has a little more variety in their
Right.
game. They can throw it a little bit and they can run it a lot, obviously,
Right.
like we've seen. So I agree with you. I think versatility is going to be the key there. And then the other game that we're going to talk about here is the 1AA West. This is the winner of this game would face Pender or Southwest Onslow. And this is Mitchell, one of the feel-good stories of the playoffs, versus defending state champion Albemarle.
And you said defending state champions Albemarle. I don't think they've let up just anything from last year. Mitchell, you say they're a feel-good story. They've given up 22 points or greater in every single one of their playoff games, which means they've been able to score that extra time. Albemarle has already beat Mount Airy. They've overcome some obstacles, and I like them at home.
I think Albemarle is the better team here. They did have to forfeit a couple of wins from earlier in the season, but the Mitchell's a great story, folks. If you don't know a little bit more about this, the nut graph of it is that they've had 2 car accidents involving 9 members of their team. They've lost so many kids already, and kids in the hospital and having to worry about this, and for them to make a run this far is just is mammoth. So
Right.
Hats off to them, but I think this might be the end of it. Of their playoff run. Albemarle is really, really good.
Well, like always, emotion fuels a lot of games in the playoffs.
That's true. That's true.
Well, let's just review real quick our 3 area games around the area for the playoffs. Pender, they'll be at Southwest Onslow. It's a 3 versus 1. Another 3 versus 1 Plymouth. At Wallace Rose Hill, that's in the 1A. And then over in the 2A, East Bladen at Tarboro. So, what do you think, Dan?
I think we go 2-1 down here. I think our 3 teams will have 2 winners and 1 loser. The problem is I don't know who the second winner is going to be. I can't figure it out yet. So.
Sounds like he's penciled Wallace Rose Hill in. Who knows? They still have to play the game.
I have, yes.
That's why
Guilty.
they play the game. We're going to be out there to get all the highlights for you. We're going to get the stats for you. We're going to come back at you Friday night with that, put it all together, feed you the good stuff. You're already on the website, so keep looking around at the good stuff we have for you right now. Stat standings should be all updated for you.
It is.
Check it out on Facebook as well, facebook.com/StarNewsVarsity. And until next time, keep checking it out.